Hello. Today, as a review for this unit, we're going to work on some kind of tricky word problems that involve you bringing in all the stuff that you've learned in the last few units. So let's review first what you learned about trig in this unit. So you learned that the trig ratios are the ratios of the sides of a right triangle given certain angles. And because all right triangles with the same acute angles are similar by angle-angle similarity, you end up with the same ratios of sides no matter what size the triangle is. So SOHCAHTOA is the way that we remember each trig ratio. So we know the sine of an angle equals the opposite leg over the hypotenuse. The cosine of an angle is the adjacent leg to that angle over the hypotenuse. And then the tangent of an angle is opposite leg over adjacent leg. Now, if you want to find the angle, so let's say you have a triangle and you know some of the sides, and you want to find the angle, then you would set up the trig ratio. So always label opposite leg, adjacent leg, and hypotenuse, and then you set up the corresponding trig ratio. Then you use the inverse of that trig ratio on the calculator, and then that would give you the angle in degrees as long as you're in degree mode. So keep that in mind. So this answer would be approximately 30.96 degrees. And if you want to find a side, you know that you can, you would be given an angle, and you could then use a trig ratio to find the missing side. So in this case, tangent of 40 degrees would be the opposite leg over the adjacent leg, and then you use cross multiplication to get the side. So in this case, you get 8.39. All right. Then we learned about angle of elevation and depression. Angle of elevation is the angle upward from the horizontal, and the angle of depression is the angle downward from horizontal. And if you draw a picture, they are actually congruent angles. So you have a worksheet up in the Go Formative page. You're going to finish that. We're going to do the first three together. So everyone should get the answers correct for the first three, assuming you watched the video. So number one, we want to find the area of this triangle. So you have a 50-degree angle here and 2.0 centimeter base. So since it's an isosceles triangle, and you can use this in a lot of problems, you drop the altitude. Why do we do that? Remember the BAM conjecture, that the altitude is the median and the angle bisector. So that gives us 25 degrees on each side, and then 1.0 centimeters. Okay. Now, in order to get the area, you need the base and the height. Well, the base will be 2, and then we need to know the height. So let's figure that out. So we'll use the half triangle. And we'll solve for the height. So let's see, we have opposite leg over adjacent leg. So tangent 25 degrees equals 1 over the hypotenuse. Now we cross multiply. So 1 divided by the tangent of 25 is 2.145, I'll round it. So then area, 1/2, 2 times 2.145 is 2.14. That's weird. Okay. And that is in centimeters squared. Okay. Now the directions on the worksheet say to, I gotta find that, round to the nearest square unit. Oh, so that will be 2 that you put into the formative website. Okay, number 2, finding the area of this. This will be a rectangle. And you know that because consecutive interior angles are 90 degrees, opposite sides are parallel. So in order to get the area of a rectangle, you need base times height. All right, so we know the hypotenuse is 28. So let's use some trig to get these other sides. So we'll call this B and H. Okay, so with the 28 degrees, we have opposite, adjacent, and then hypotenuse. So we have sine of 28 equals opposite H over hypotenuse, 28. So 28 sine 28 is 13.145. Okay. And then we'll do cosine 28 degrees equals adjacent base over 28. So 28 cosine 28 is base equals 24.723. So the area is the product of those. So let's multiply. 324.98, but we're going to round as the directions say, 325 centimeters squared. Okay, so these are all multi-step problems where you have to kind of use trig during the problem. And then number 3. So finding the area of the parallelogram. Area of a parallelogram is base times height. Remember, the height is perpendicular to the base. So, it's a rhombus. So every side is 13. Okay. And we have the 140 degree angle. So then we have 40 degrees. Okay. So now let's use trig to get the height. So we have opposite and hypotenuse. So we're going to say sine of 40 degrees equals the height over 13. So now the height will be 13 times the sine of 40. Height equals 8.356. So we have area equals 13 is the base times 8.356 is the height. 108.6, which will then go to 109 inches squared. On the program, don't put in the units, just the number. Okay, so now 4, 5, and 6 are going to be similar to 1, 2, and 3. 7, 8, and 9, just use the pictures to help. And then 10, 11, and 12 are the angle of elevation and depression type of problems that you worked on Thursday. So your test will be tomorrow. And remember to join the extra help session if you want to go over anything or make a study guide or whatever. Have a great day. Take care.